Welcome to The Lift. All this week we're talking about James chapter 1 and being rooted in God, being rooted in what truly matters. Today I want to talk to you about the final verse of chapter 1, and it seems like such a simple thing, but it explains exactly what God is asking from us. Here's what it says, James 1:27. It says, "Pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father is to take care of orphans and widows in their distress and refuse to let the world corrupt you." Now, let's talk about the first part of that verse. It says, pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father. So what God is seeking, and God's not a God all about religion. God's all about a relationship, but in this terminology, that's what he's explaining. If you want to be what God wants you to be, is basically what this means. If you want to be what God wants you to be, then you need to take care of orphans and widows in their distress. Now, why those two groups of people, orphans and widows? Think about it. Orphans and widows are people who can't really take care of themselves. Orphans are children without parents, and parents provide everything for their kids, but these kids are orphans and don't have someone to take care of them. They're lost without any kind of help. Widows can be the same way. Maybe they've relied on their husbands for financial reasons. Maybe they've relied on their husbands for the relationship, and all of those things come together to make the widow someone who can be helpless. To take care of orphans and widows means to stand up for the people who can't stand up for themselves, and to take care of those people who can't take care of themselves. Now, in the sense of a tree, think about it like this. When roots grow deep down into the ground, sometimes the roots will intertwine. Sometimes these roots can actually help each other. In the rainforest, there's some trees that grow, and their roots actually grow together. The roots will grow into each other, and what that does is it helps the trees not be able to fall down even when one tree might be weaker than the other. In our lives, it can be the same way. If our roots are growing deep and our roots are growing big, then when others grow around us, then their roots can tangle into ours, and so maybe when they're not strong enough, then our roots can be strong enough to hold them up. And that's where the second part of this verse comes in, because it doesn't just talk about take care of people. It says refuse to let the world corrupt you. Now, this tree will soak up whatever you plant it in. If you plant it in acid, then that tree is going to soak up the acid, and then the tree will die because it's not getting what it needs. In your life, if you are planting yourself, if you are being rooted in things that are destructive, then your life will be destructive, and ultimately you will die. But not just you, those who are planted around you, who are trying to grow into your roots so that when they're not strong enough, you can be, they will die too. Our lives are not just about us. Our being rooted is more than just us getting what we need. It's about helping other people get what they need too. When is the last time you shared your faith with someone who didn't understand? When's the last time you reached out and helped someone when you could have, but you didn't? All of those things keep us from being truly rooted in what God wants us to be. What we need to do is grow our roots deeper and bigger into the things that really matter, refusing to let the world corrupt us. And then when others come along and they plant themselves beside us, then their roots can intertwine with our roots, and we'll all be strong together because we're all growing in to what really matters. We're all being rooted in God. And if we can do that, then we will grow big and we will grow strong. And even when our faith is tested, we'll be able to endure because we know that then we will truly grow. Make sure that you stay rooted in what matters the most. This is The Lift.
Hey everybody, Matt Smith here for your fitness tip of the day. Today's tip is going to deal with the lat pull down exercise. Now, the normal grip that people use is to have your thumbs underneath of the bar, but a good alternative for this is to have your thumb over top of the bar. By doing this, you'll focus on the back a whole lot more, and it'll take away from the biceps doing a lot of the pulling. Again, this is Matt Smith. Remember, strength is more than muscles. This is The Lift.